Hello everyone, welcome to Yamaguchi Japan Speaking YouTube Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Issa. This is episode 022, episode 22. I will talk about, in this episode, I will talk about English and me, the relationship between I and English. I will talk about how I learn English. I think it's very interesting theme for especially Japanese English learners and everybody who wanted to learn other English, which is their mother tongue. In Japan, in my time, junior high school student, the first grade of junior high school students start to learn English at the official school, official education. So there is a subject named English. So the subject is 4 hours, 5 hours, more I think. I cannot remember well, to be honest, but almost every day we had English lesson, English class, and the one class has 40 students, I think. I can remember, for around 40, I think, and now 35 I heard, but in my time 40. It's a standard, and so there's a class of the English class is grammar and reading a reader, which class focus to read long texts, and grammar. In grammar classes, teachers explain how to put each words, the order of English structure. You've already know that's a grammar. And so the English class continue junior high school and high school, and colleges, universities entrance examination. In university examination, which is the English, the subject English is very important and very so if you but at English, it's very difficult to enter the famous universities, famous colleges. Even if you are very good at other subjects, all other subjects, very, very, very well. But if you don't, if you are not good at, if you are poor at English, it's very difficult to fight the entrance examination. You cannot fight. And except for the art college, I tried, and actually I entered. And I graduated Tokyo University of Arts which whose examination, entrance examination, didn't require English skill. Although there was English examination, but they really concerned about that test. Very strange, but it's very only few exceptions, especially famous universities. In famous university, almost all famous university required English as a entrance examination. One of subject of entrance examination. So I'm talking about my story. In my story, I perfectly dropped out. I'm very poor at English, and my skill of English was worst in the class. Already the first grade, late part of first grade of junior high school student, I didn't catch up with other students and the contents of class. It's very poor condition. It was very poor condition. I hate English classes, but English class is be held every day, almost every day. It's very severe for me. And the high schools, of course, the content is difficult, and I didn't understand the contents of English class, in English textbooks of junior high school student. So of course I cannot understand the more difficult contents. It's very easy to image. Very poor condition. Every words, every explanation teacher made, I couldn't understand. It's impossible. And however I made effort, it was not enough to understand. It's very pity. And of course I'm the worst scorer in high school, and I at that time I wanted to go at the universities. There are four colleges around where we lived. I lived, sorry. And so I challenged the top of them, the most famous one. And that university didn't require English test, English skill. I knew that. I just abandoned English, the effort for English. and I, of course, I hate English itself. Learning English, I hate. English itself, I hate. And speaking, those who speak English, I hate. sorry. But at that time, I hated everything concerned about English because I didn't like English, and it's kind of inferior complex. And after that, I realized that kind of inferior complex. Many Japanese have that kind of inferior complex for English. And then I study after 2 years blank, during that time, I trained the drawing, and after 2 years, I passed the entrance examination of Tokyo University of Arts, and I studied as an undergraduate student oil painting. My major at oil painting. Measuring. I was measuring oil painting, and for 4 years I studied about how to draw. Well, of course I painted. I had painted for 4 years, and then I continued to learning painting. Then to entered undergraduate student master course, and during master course I met a lot of people, Japanese artists, Japanese students, but who is already active, who is already show their works all over the world. And of course that kind of people can speak English, and I did not like these people's work. And but I mean their work I didn't attract. I wasn't attracted by the students, high-level students' artworks. I mean, but that kind of people made me uneasy, because I inevitably think I'm very, very inferior to them because they can speak English. I was dropped out. I thought that's an inferior complex. So I decided to fight. I mean, in that point, I had to decide to avoid English rest of my life, or whether I avoid English rest of my time, or to fight. I decide to learn English. However, it's very difficult. It was very difficult. I decided never give up. It's the starting point of my English learning. So, and after that, I studied by myself every day. I will talk about that kind of my fight with English. It's a kind of the record of my English experiment of English learning. Later episode. So, in this episode, I will close. I am closing. Thank you for listening to Speaking Tube Radio about my episode of how to start English learning. And have a nice day. Valete.